Good evening. Welcome to the 75th Annual Jonah Edward Kelley Award. If you'll notice in your program, the quarantined edition. Need to try again. Is that better? Everybody here now? Okay, again, I welcome you to the 75th Annual Jonah Edward Kelley Award. And the Kaiser Moose Lodge and Kaiser High School are very happy to continue and have this award this year, again under the quarantine version. First of all, I'd like to call on our governor, Bobby Fritz, and introduce the officers of the Moose Lodge.
Hello, thanks for coming. A few weeks ago we got this call. They couldn't have it at the school. So we stepped in and said, we're proud to do it here for you guys. I knew the school board wouldn't let you in. We understand the circumstances, but I think with the women and all of our men, we've done a pretty good job spacing it out, getting y'all in here. I'll just start. I'm Rob Fritz. I'm the governor of the Kaiser Moose 662. Mr. Haynes behind me is also a past governor and a former administrator for us. Byron Halp, he's our past governor. Mickey Brooks, junior governor, and I think's held every other thing in the state in the lodge. Mr. Orndorff, he's a sergeant of arms for us and deputy supreme governor for the state. Mr. Buck Barrick, everybody that's been involved with this knows Buck's right beside Mr. Haynes' side pretty much during this stuff. He's one of our past governors also. Mr. John Stone, he's our former administrator, or now administrator, acting. Steve Brill, he's our social corner manager. And all the women, where's all my ladies at? Come on, step in here now. Wait a minute, I got more out in the audience, he said. Mr. Butch Wall out here, he's our prelate. Dwayne Nichols here beside him, he's a trustee. Dave Bowden, he's one of our Legionnaires. Heck, there's a lot of other ones that's probably members. Logan Del Signor's a member. Oh, Johnny Haynes is a member. Anybody else a member? See, I missed a couple. Now our ladies that figured out this great meal you're going to have this evening. Give them a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Robbie. We also have some other guests with us this evening. I'd like to recognize our superintendent of schools, Mr. Troy Ravenscroft. Glad you could be with us. County Commissioner Jerry Wisner. And representing the Mineral Daily News Tribune, Liz Beavers. Liz, always good about covering our activities. And also introducing special guests. Could not go on without introducing Mr. Stuart Brandow. He's the member from the 78th. And Vito, who is his chauffeur for this, coming from Woodbridge, New Jersey, and we're honored to have him. And we always allow Mr. Brandow to say a few words. May 27th was his 96th birthday. So he's 96 years young. I'm going to ask him to come up now and go ahead and speak to us.
It's hard for me to be up here, really. I love this town. I will always love it. And I don't know if I'll be here next year, but I'm going to make a real good shot at it. I come from Woodbridge, New Jersey. I love my town. My hometown is from the Catskill Mountains. are called Leeds, New York. The other part of my town is Gatsby, New York. I had to go to schools back and forth. But anyway, I graduated in 43 in June, and I was in the service in July. They didn't even give me a chance to let me know which one I wanted to get in. But they made the good. I'm here. There's so many things I'd like to tell you or speak to you about. I'm 96 years old because something happened to me. I have two grandsons, both of them college graduates. One works in Seattle in Microsoft. The other one works as a mechanical engineer in Florida. That was two of the reasons why I'm here. But my big reason is, 2 years ago, on my birthday, I have a beautiful young great-grandson. And I'm telling you, I'll show you a picture. I wish I could put it on the wall. But again, yes, I'm a veteran. I'm lucky. The Lord is with me. He saved my life a few times for a reason. You don't always have everything perfect. But what He's done for me made up for not one perfect. I got into the service in 43, and I took my training in Alabama. Yeah. And that's a toughie too. When I got finished, I always wanted to be in the Air Force. That's what I wanted to go before I went under. But I said no. I did. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a college kid, again. But I believe in common sense. But anyway, again, I did take a test. I didn't make it. But I didn't give up. And I went back and took it, and I did make it. I went to Florida. There was a short time. This is the first time I ever got into college. I got Norwich University in Vermont. And what a school that is. That's a military school. And the first person I met up there was a coach. He came from my high school. I was there a few months. And again, he did the right thing. The guy that did it did not do the right thing. I'm talking about Hitler. That's when they overthrew Belgium. We had to get into this. But my time being in camp, the school, they kept me off in Normandy. I'm not sure if I would have made it because I don't swim. I don't walk like you do, so I can go on the bottom. But again, I made that over there. I'm not going to tell you a lot because I'm not a hero, but I do have medals. I've got 2 Bronze Stars. My thing is this. I learned what other people are in other parts of the world. I have wonderful friends in Germany. In fact, I just had 2 young people from Germany that I knew his mother and stayed with them. I know a couple from Belgium. They came to see me. They have 2 beautiful young girls. They're going to come again next year because they couldn't. No, I think he's coming in November. I'll tell you something about that young man. His name is Stein Stegen. I only met him when he was this big. When I was staying at his home, he says to his mother, I'm not doing this. He says he wished I was his brother. The next thing come out of his mouth was, you know, Mom, when I get married, I'd like to have him as my best man. And I was. I'm his best man, and he's one of my best friends. That young man, he's a make-believe soldier. He's me. But I'll tell you what he did. I don't like tattoos. That young man got a picture of me. A picture. And you know what he did? He put a picture of me from It's here on his leg. And he can't get rid of me now either. But again, no, I make friends. They don't get away too early. And that's another thing I got to say about friends. I knew nobody in this town 40 years ago. I don't know names, but I know young men. I know the Moose. And I want to know this. I want you to know this. Last year there was 3 of us. Now we are Moose members of life. Thank you, guys. And I tell you, I know this David. This David. And the gentleman that introduced me, to me, he's been the best than ever the principal of this high school. I don't want to get him over. You know what I'm saying? Now, this family, I go by blood relatives and non-blood relatives. I got more better non-relatives in this country. I love them dearly. I know we only got a few minutes, but again, these 3 young men, they are, to me, they did something this year that no one has ever done in 40 years. And I thought it was a surprise in my life. My birthday was on the 27th of May. I got 2 birthday cards. It was one of them, and I'm proud of them. The proud young man and his family. The other one is Mr. C's family. And I called them, and I told them, guys, I can't do what I've been doing these years. I give a beautiful pin. I come up to their family. I met them before they met me. They don't know, really, what they mean to me. They know me for something. They are special. They're not better or worse. They are special because the way they met me. I met so many principals, and I think they still let me go to school. I don't know if I should show you what I have. Should I? I think I have it. I had it. Yes. Now, somebody might not like what I'm going to show you. I have to show you. It took me a long time to get this. This is yours, guys, but this is mine. I know somebody's not going to like that. I tried to get one of the watches. And, no, it might be a laughing matter. I tried, and I can understand why not. But I'll tell you what, one of these young men did. He said, Mr. Brandow, I'd like to have you do something for me. And I'll show you what. You might know what this is. This is the 78th watch. They know. Some of the people in here might have their on today. He made an offer to me. I'll tell you what. I'll let you wear mine if you let me wear yours for 1 year. I said, no. I don't want to make anybody angry with him. But it's here that I had an offer. I'm going to cut short. I could tell you stories all night. As far as this young man that we are honoring, I didn't know this gentleman, but I fought in the same place, the same time, different, 110th Battalion. He went on in 11. I've never forgotten that young man up on that hill. After we broke up, I don't know why, I never found a flag on that graveside up there. Never. There's one up there right now. There's been one up there for 40 years. Me. I even had a World War II marker medal. Somebody stole it. But it's still here. I met his sisters. I went to his church. I'll tell you a little story about the church. The Methodist church. And this is the truth. I went into the back door to join that. When I left, I went down the front steps. I'll tell you what. I broke out. Yes. I couldn't help it. And I wasn't thinking. That young man, what he did, took a life. And that young man, I lived just like he did in the past, but he earned something, and he got to be a good guy. Again, I'm going to sing good evening, and I love you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brandow. We're honored to have you here again this year. One other person I'd like to introduce, I know Logan's going to introduce society members a little later on, but we're also honored to have our very first Kelley Award winner, Mr. Bob Dorsey. Proud to have him here. I'd like to thank Mrs. Spencer and Ms. Rotruck for asking me to be a part of the program this year. And this part of it is a little bit about the history of the award. It's condensed because 75 years, you could stand up here for a long time and talk about it. But when the award started, it was some members of the Kaiser Moose Lodge attended a sports banquet affair in Cumberland, Maryland, honoring an athlete down there. And they brought that back to members of the Kaiser Moose Lodge, and they talked about having some kind of an award by the Moose here to honor the memory of Ed Kelley, who was an athlete. And that's how this all started. The Moose Lodge started it. The very first award, and Mr. Dorsey was the winner, was a dinner at St. Mary's Hall, next to the Catholic Church in Kaiser. And at that time, the winner received a pocket watch, and the other runner-ups got a fountain pen. The following year, the program was moved to Kaiser High School, Old Kaiser High School. As an assistant principal at Kaiser, in 1976, 77 school year, the reception before the program was held in the library. And they had coffee and donuts for the participants, the families, the nominees. The Commanding General Parker at that time attended early on. Of course, he was much older than the men in his division of the 78th, and he attended the program at Kaiser for some years and was the only one in attendance. In later years, as 78th members started retiring and attending the program, it really started to grow. More and more members started coming, their spouses, their families. At that time, the Moose started having a reception the night before the program at our lodge. And the Moose decided to give each of the nominees a wristwatch. Members of the 78th started a drive to raise money for a scholarship. One time it was just, the award was the watches. But members of the 78th started a drive to raise money, and that scholarship started out at $300, went to $600, $900, $4,500, and this year it is $6,000. They raised a considerable amount of money to perpetuate the scholarship, and the Kelley Society now manages that and presents the scholarship to the nominees each year. My dad, who was a World War II and Korean veteran and attended many of the programs, was a member of Boyce Hauser Post 41 and started the luncheon. These are all things that, when we're in a normal year, takes place. We have a reception here the night before. Normally the program would be at Church McKee, and then after that there is a luncheon for 78 members, their spouses, the nominees, former winners, and other guests. At the height of the program, attendance by 78 members would be as many as 70 to 80 members attending a program, their spouses and family members, and they came from between 30 and 40 states. And at the height of the program at Potomac State, if you've been in the Arts Center, the center section would be taken up by 78 members and their families. And I had the honor of introducing each one of those gentlemen and the city and state they were from. Kelley Award recipient, the late Ed Smith, who won the award in 1954, came up with an idea to honor Kaiser High graduates. He took the idea to Kelley recipient Bob Dorsey and another award winner, the late Reeves Taylor, and they realized they would need an organization to pull it together. And that's how the idea for the Kelley Society was born. And the society initially was for winners of the Kelley Award, and all nominees would later become members of the society. And from that came the Legion of Honor. In order to be inducted into the Legion of Honor, Kaiser High School, you must have attended Kaiser High School and be out of school for at least 10 years and have distinguished him or herself in their career. Those who did not attend Kaiser High, but through their careers and support became synonymous with Kaiser High School, might also be inducted as associate members. The first class for the Legion of Honor was 1989. Included Jonah Edward Kelley, Congressman Harley O. Staggers Sr., author Catherine Marshall, art surgeon Dr. Robert Gustafson, and baseball player John Crook. All members of the Legion are on display in the case in the main hall at Kaiser High School. The Kelley Society has a medallion which they present each year to the nominees. That medallion was designed by the 1991 winner, Jeff Broom. And when the society has inductees, they hold a banquet, generally the evening after the Kelley Award. To give you an idea, some of the speakers that we've had over the years: Congressman Harley Staggers Sr. and Jr., Congressman Alan Mollahan, Congressman David McKinley, governors W.W. Barron, Hewlett Smith, John J. Rockefeller IV, Cecil Underwood. We've had Secretary of the Army, John Marsh, Secretary of the Navy, John Lehman, Senator Chapman Rivercombe, Secretary of State Ken Heckler, A. James Manchin, Joe Manchin III, Natalie Tennant, who's also a former Mountaineer mascot, Dr. Warner von Braun from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. We've had two astronauts, Dr. Donald Deke Slayton and Captain John McBride, a native of West Virginia. We've had a Medal of Honor winner. I'm sure most of you have heard or read about Herschel Woody Williams. He is also 96, Mr. Brandow. He was a former speaker and had a Navy warship named after him, the USS Herschel Woody Williams. And he was the 1987 speaker. And he is the last surviving member in the Battle of Iwo Jima. A.B. Krongard, Executive Director of the CIA. Potomac State Presidents, Dr. E.E. Church, Dr. Gordon Slonaker, and Dr. Joseph Grotto. Guy Stewart, Dean of the West Virginia School of Journalism. General Parker that same year also made remarks. Daniel Rudy Reisinger, Notre Dame football, the movie Rudy. The gentleman that movie was made from was a speaker. Dana Horslow, a teacher and coach at Potomac State College, the Low Gymnasium, was a speaker. Dave Bowden, former publisher of the Mineral Daily newspaper and the Kelley magazine, was one of our speakers. From the 78th Lightning Division, Reverend Charles Albright was a chaplain that officiated at Kelley's funeral. Also, Colonel John Davids, Lynn McNamara, president of the 78th, and Vernon Green, all were speakers. Freddie Wyant, former West Virginia All-American and pro football official. Former Kelley winner, Lieutenant Colonel Tom Landis. Colonel John Kidner, Kaiser High School grad who wrote the Kidner Report. Carl Pfeiffer, former principal of Kaiser High School. And from Moose International, we had the head football coach that year, Johnny Williams, was head football coach at Mooseheart, and also Elmer Hartman, the supreme prelate from the Loyal Order of the Moose. We have several Kelley landmarks. The Kelley Armory, which is now Kelley Complex, the Rec Center, that was dedicated on March 25th, 1963. It was named the Jonah Edward Kelley Armory. There is a Kelley room at Grace United Methodist Church. He was a member there, and his funeral was held there. A bridge at the intersection of Armstrong and Water Street, Jonah E. Kelley Memorial Bridge. Ed Kelley Memorial Plaza, put in by Boyce Hauser Post 41 of the American Legion on the grounds of the former Kaiser High School. There's a World War II memorial on the grounds of the present Kaiser High School, which tells the story of his heroics during the Battle of Kesternitz and lists the names of those lost in World War II from Kaiser, Elk Garden, Piedmont, and Howard High Schools. There's a Kelley Barracks in Stuttgart, Germany. There is a memorial to the 78th Lightning Division in Kesternitz where he died. There's a portion of Pine Swamp Road named World War II 78th Lightning Division Road, leading to the intersection with One Tornado Way, leading to Kaiser High School. The Merchant Marine in Brooklyn, New York, honored his memory by naming a ship after him, the SS Jonah E. Kelley. Also located in Wappinger Falls, New York, is a statue designed by the late Bill Parsons. He was the former editor of the division magazine, The Flash. It was financed by Mr. Parsons, his wife Helen, and his brother John. The significance of the statue as it relates to Ed Kelley is that the shoulder patch on the kneeling soldier is a 78th Lightning Division patch. Hanging from the rifle is a set of dog tags engraved with Ed Kelley's Army serial number. That memorial was dedicated in 1993. That is a very condensed history. The Kelley Award, Kelley Society, the Legion of Honor, and again, I'm proud to have presented this to you on behalf of the Moose Lodge and the high school. And with that, I will call on Mrs. Lois Spencer, principal of Kaiser High School, with some introductions. Mrs. Spencer.
I would now like to introduce the families of our nominees. The family of our first nominee, Logan Proud, mother, Tracy Proud, father, Jeff Proud, brother, Dakota Proud. The family of our second nominee, Shawn C., mother, Rhea C., father, James C., brother, Dylan C., and sisters, Taylor, Abby, and Emily C. The family of our third nominee, Ryan Shoemaker, mother, Mandy Shoemaker, father, Corey Shoemaker, and brother, Josh Shoemaker. And now for the presentation of awards. I welcome back to the stage past governor and administrator of the Kaiser Moose Lodge, number 662, John Haynes Sr.
As we said every year, all of these young men are winners. Just to be nominated, you are a winner. And on behalf of the Kaiser Moose Lodge and Kaiser High School, it's my honor to announce the 2020 winner of the Jonah Edward Kelley Award for the 75th annual, Shawn C.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by saying what an honor it is to be a nominee for the Jonah Edward Kelley Award. To be identified as a person who displays some of the characteristics that Jonah Edward Kelley displayed is humbling. I would also like to thank God for the blessings He has given me in my life. I would like to thank the Kaiser Moose Lodge 662, the members of the Ed Kelley Society, the 78th Lightning Division, all veterans and members of our armed forces, Mrs. Spencer, Mrs. Connor, Ms. Roadtruck, the Mineral County Board of Education, and faculty and staff of Kaiser High School for making this evening possible. I'd also like to congratulate both Ryan and Logan for being nominated for this award with me. I'm proud of both of you and can't wait to see what your futures hold. And thank you for being such great friends and teammates. We are here this evening to honor the life of Sergeant Jonah Edward Kelley, the sacrifices he, the 78th Lightning Division, and all veterans made for our country. Mr. Kelley was a great man whose bravery and love for his country was evident by his sacrifice. He has been described as determined, kind, humble, compassionate, loyal, and honest. He had a strong work ethic and was a leader in all areas of his life. He was courageous, and that courage showed when he laid down his life in Kristallnacht, Germany, so the members of the 78th Lightning Division could advance on their mission. He fought to the end without regard of his own life or well-being. He died a hero's death for the freedoms we as Americans enjoy every day. Mineral County is proud of Mr. Kelley, and this ceremony brings us all together every year to celebrate his life and keep his memory alive. It's not only important that we continue to honor and remember Mr. Kelley, but all veterans and members of the armed forces. Several years ago, I started volunteering at ceremonies honoring veterans on Memorial Day and Veterans Day with my grandmother. At these ceremonies, I had the privilege of meeting veterans from around the area, including Mr. Clifton Brooks and Miss Reva Shirley, among others. I not only learned more about the local heroes Ed Kelley and Aubrey Stewart, but also learned about the sacrifices that these men and women have endured in the service of our country. I learned the true meaning of service and started understanding just how deeply they love our country. I challenged underclassmen at Kaiser High School to give back to our community by volunteering their time in the service with these men and women. In fact, I challenge every member of this community to attend a veteran ceremony, write a letter to a veteran, or just visit one in a nursing home, or help lay flags on a veteran's grave on Memorial Day or Veterans Day. Time spent serving those who have given so much for us is worthwhile and life-changing. I would not be where I am today if it were not for my family, coaches, teachers, and friends. That being said, I'd like to give a thanks to my mom. Mom, you have always been there for me, no matter what. You're the person I can always turn to when I need something. You've taught me that hard work and dedication to the things you love pays off. You taught me the importance of giving back to others and always counting my blessings. Dad, you're the hardest working person I know. You have worked away my whole life, and yet on countless occasions, no matter how tired you were, you have made the trip home during the week to watch my big games. I've learned a lot of important things from you, like how to properly skin a deer and how to be the man of the house when you are gone. Taylor, you're the best big sister in the world. Thank you for making me an uncle to the cutest niece ever. Thank you for the late night FaceTime conversations and for being my compass when I have hard decisions to make. Dylan, although we fight sometimes, there is no one who understands me quite like you do. You're the best big little brother in the world. P.S. I'm better at sports than you, even cross country. Josh, thank you for your service to our country. Although things might not have been easy, we have had some good times and made great memories playing basketball and baseball in the backyard. Be safe. Abigail and Emily. Even though you are both a handful, I love you and proud to be your big brother. I can't wait to see what both of your futures hold. Grandma Connie, thank you for always being there when I needed someone to talk to or when I had something to rant about. Thank you for being the best grandmother and best friend I could have. Pappy Roger, thank you for coming to all my basketball games and for the games of horse in the backyard. Grandma Una, thank you for always being by my side. Literally, she's only 4'11". Thanks for being the best cook in South Fork, and thank you for just being you. Happy Damas, thank you for introducing me to the great fishing in Canada. I'll never forget the times we had on the boat or the fish tails. It would take me all day to thank everyone who has had an impact on my life, but there are a few special people I'd like to take the time and recognize. Coach Visor, thank you for everything you have done for me. If it wouldn't have been for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you for always expecting my best and never accepting anything less. Thank you for mentoring me throughout the college football recruiting process and for taking me to football camps. I'll never forget you or the life lessons you have taught me. Coach Haynes. To be honest, you're always pretty hard on me, and I realize now why. You were helping to prepare me for life after basketball. You're a great man and a great coach. You always knew what I was capable of, even before I did. I will never forget you or your commitment to making us a better team. You will forever be coach to me. Pitt. Coach Fury. Even though I only had you for 1 year as a track coach, you have been my life coach for much more. You're the smartest person I know. Whenever I have a problem, I know I can come to you for help to figure out the answer. Miss Lawson. Thank you for being the best teacher ever. Thank you for proofreading all my papers and taking time to reassure me when I question myself. Thank you for always being there for me. It's teachers like you who change lives forever. Lastly, I would like to thank all my friends, teammates, students at Kaiser High School. Thank you for the memories that we have created, the jokes we have shared, the bonds that will never be broken. I want to leave you all with this. Never give up on your dreams, work hard to achieve your goals, and always be kind to one another. Thank you.
Logan Proud.
I can remember first learning about Ed Kelley back in primary school, before I really understood what paying the ultimate sacrifice truly meant. Over the years, I have heard some say that the Ed Kelley Award is a popularity contest, or that it goes to whoever is the best athlete. But I think everyone can agree that it is about a young man from Kaiser, West Virginia, who served his country and heroically died paying the ultimate sacrifice. Kelley, as well as everyone in the 78th Lightning Division, and the entire military, knew that before they went into battle, they must be content with the fact that they may not make it back home to see their loved ones, which is a hard pill to swallow. That is why it is the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. Because the loss of your life does not only affect you, it affects your family and all those who mean something to you. And it is not easy for a person to accept this fate, which is why we honor and remember these people who gave it all to make sure what they did is not forgotten. And now that I am older and I understand the sacrifice, I am honored to be here today to carry on this legacy and to remember what he did for this country through this great tradition. My family has deep roots within the military, starting with my dad, who served in the United States Marine Corps during Operation Desert Storm and Operation Desert Shield. Also, my maternal grandfather helped break codes in the Air Force during the Korean War. My father's dad was in the Navy, and my uncle's dad was a U.S. Marine sniper in Vietnam. So you can imagine in our household that Veterans Day is not just a day off school. In our house, celebrating military holidays are times when we hear stories and experiences of their time in the military and take a moment to appreciate those who put it all on the line for their country. When it was time for me to start thinking about what I was going to do with my future, I knew I only had two options. I was going to join the military or continue my education. My dad would tell me that I needed to go to college, that I had too much brain to be a jarhead like him. I appreciate his encouragement, and I know college is the right decision for me. I realize in my future I will probably not do anything as heroic as Ed Kelley, but I do plan to use my education and experience as an engineer to make a difference in the world, whether it be through helping a community or perhaps developing something that will make a person's life better. If I am able to go on and make just one person's life better in some way, I consider that a success. I hope my contributions will one day reflect how grateful and honored I am to be nominated for the Ed Kelley Award. If asked what being up for this award means to me, I would say that it is an extreme honor to be part of this tradition and to be one of the few bestowed with carrying on his legacy. I'd first like to thank the selection committee for allowing me the privilege of being able to be part of this great program. So many people have helped me in my journey to get where I am now, starting with the two nominated for this award with me, Ryan and Shawn. Whether it be pushing around Big Shawn at basketball practice or competing with Ryan in both football and basketball, these two have been with me as far back as I can remember, and they have become more than teammates to me. Also, of course, my mom. She is the one person in my life who has always pushed me to do better in everything I do, whether it be school, sports, or just riding a bike. She's always my biggest supporter in life. Love you, Mom. And thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to be the man I am today, for being my guide in everything, from how to talk to people to how to work on cars. I've learned nearly everything I know from him, as well as my brother Dakota. He's gotten me into a lot of trouble, but he's also done a great job of introducing me to the world and teaching me how to have fun and make things worth doing. Love you guys. I also want to thank my coaches, Coach Beiser, Coach Fury, Coach Haynes, as well as all the other coaches who have taught me so much more than how to just win in whatever sport it may be. They have taught me how to succeed in life. And to all of my teachers and counselors who have prepared me for college and beyond, thank you. And last but certainly not least, I have to thank all of the amazing friends of mine who have helped me through the tough times and made the good times great. All my friends who have always been there for me no matter what, thank you to everyone who has made me into the person I am today. They couldn't have been done without you.
Ryan Shoemaker.
Good evening. I'd like to start by saying how honored I am to be up for the Jonah Edward Kelley Award. I'd like to thank the 78th Fighting Division, members of the Kaiser Moose Lodge 662, and the members of the Kelley Society. All veterans and active military members who so selflessly have defended and still defend us today. Mrs. Spencer, Miss Connor, and Miss Rochuck for all they do to make things like this possible. I'd like to congratulate both Shawn and Logan for also being nominated for this prestigious award. I'm glad to call you both good friends. As we sit here today, we're here to honor and give our respects to the life of Jonah Edward Kelley and the sacrifices he and all other veterans and active military have made for our freedom. Jonah Edward Kelley died saving other people's lives, and that is ultimate sacrifice. He's an inspiration to me and everyone else in our small community. Mr. Kelley put others' lives before him, no matter the circumstance. He is a true hero for sacrificing his life for us and generations to come, so that we may live in freedom. It's an honor to even be mentioned in the same sentence as Mr. Kelley. There's no way I'd be the man I am today without my family, friends, coaches, and teachers. Dad, there's nothing I could ever say or do to repay you for all you've done for me. Your endless patience, love, and support helped shape me into the man I am today. All the practices, games, fishing trips are irreplaceable memories. Thank you. Mom, without you, I'd be lost. You're the foundation of our whole family. You've sacrificed so much for us. You always put everyone else before you, no matter the circumstance. You've always been right by my side through it all. Josh, my first friend. I'm glad I can call you my brother, but also a lifelong friend. You've always been right by my side through it all, sometimes to the point where I can't bear you. Whatever I did, you were right by my side, supporting me and cheering me on. I hope your 4 years at KHS are as memorable as mine were. You have a bright future ahead, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Happy and Mamaw. You guys were always there whenever I needed anything. You never missed a sporting event or school function. Having grandparents like you is a blessing. You guys don't know how much you mean to me. Granny, no matter how far away you are, you've always been my #1 fan. I would hate to be your neighbor during football season, though. I miss you, and I'm grateful to have you in my life. Lastly, there's a few more people I couldn't have made it through without. Both my uncles, Chris and Aaron, my cousin Dakota Hart, Linda and Thurman Smith, my great uncle Quark and Aunt Mary Ann. I also can't forget my little brothers and sister, Remy, Russ, and Bella. You all have shaped me into the person I am today. To my coaches. Coach Bowser, thank you for teaching me your work ethic, and to always strive to do your best no matter where life takes you. I'm also thankful for the this play mentality you instilled in my head, not just for football, but for life. Coach Roball, there isn't anything you wouldn't do for our program. You always put the team as your first priority, and baseball wouldn't have been the same without you. Last but not least, Coach Haynes. Not only were you my coach, but you're also a lifelong friend. I'm beyond grateful to have the bond we have formed over the years. You have done so much for me these past 4 years. You cared the most about what type of men we were becoming before anything else, and I always respected that. I'm grateful to have had a role model like you in my life. Some other coaches that have helped me out along the way are Coach Pratt, Coach Ross, Coach Steven, Coach Landis, and Coach Zachary. I appreciate all you guys have taught me. There's no way I could thank all the teachers that have pushed me along the way, but I would like to thank a few. Mr. Perano, you always put everything you had into teaching our class. You've taught me what it takes to succeed at the college level. Mr. Denny, thank you for letting me basically live in your office for 4 years. Mr. Staggers, thank you for everything you've done for me as a student. If I ever need anything, you're the person to go to. I would also like to thank my special friends, Jacob Bowser, Drew Everline, Jackson White, and Morgan Little. You guys have made high school a blast. Our friendship means the world to me. Also, I'd like to thank Jacob Evans, Evan Moreland, Alex Oates, and Jackson Bowser for being such great friends over these past 4 years. Lastly, I want to challenge the students of KHS. I challenge you to be active, go out and do stuff, go to games, get involved, have fun with your friends. High school goes by in a blink of an eye. You don't want to look back and regret the things you didn't do. I'd like to thank everyone for their time, and God bless.
Thank you, gentlemen. Outstanding, 3 outstanding young gentlemen, outstanding presentations. Logan Del Signor will now come up and have some comments and present the medallions.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight and say how truly honored I am to be the president during the 75th year of the Kelley Award. But beyond being honored, I'm humbled. I'm humbled to be a part of a program that continues to garner so much community support. I'm humbled to be a part of a program that has an organization like Kaiser Moose Lodge 662 come to our need and be there when we needed them the most. I'm honored to be a part of a program that has so much community support behind it, from the Mineral Daily News Tribune to the leadership at Kaiser High School, the leadership at Mineral County, and Miss Carrie Roachuk, who dedicates so much time to make this happen. It's been around 75 years, and thanks to the folks like you, it's going to be around for 75 years or more. Give yourselves a hand for that, please. Before I have the privilege of giving these gentlemen their medallions and inducting them to the society, I'd like to make a quick announcement and point out those members of the Kelley Society that are with us today. From 2008, we have Tyler Logston. 2004, Matt Altabello. 2003, Jeff Newland. 1998, John Haynes Jr. 1996, Corey Shoemaker. 1952, Jennings Stickley. And from 1946, Mr. Numero Uno himself, Bobby Dorsey. Now, gentlemen, I'd like to invite you up one by one to receive your medallion. Shawn? Logan? And the last thing I'll say, I just have a short message to the three of you as you take the next step into your life and as you head out into the future here. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I've watched these three young men come into the ranks of Kaiser High School as puny freshmen and leave as seniors. Now, Shawn, maybe not so puny, but leave as seniors and fine young men ready to go out and take on the world. You're here right now because you guys were the leaders of your school. You're the leaders of your class. You're the leaders of your peers. And we have expectations for you to be the leaders of the future. And Logan, you said it earlier. Maybe, in the grand scheme of life, you won't do anything quite as heroic as Ed Kelley did. But I think all of you have the ability to do just something just as powerful. I hope that you guys have been looking around. I hope that you've been paying attention to the world around you, to the country around you, to the society around you. I hope you see the issues that continue to plague our nation, issues that continue to divide us as a nation. The future of this country is not going to be dictated by me. It's not going to be dictated by those out in the audience. The future of this country is going to be as you gentlemen see it to be. You have the power to incite powerful, incredible, positive change in this world. Use that power. Use it for good. Because, gentlemen, the world truly is yours. Thank you, guys.
We thank all of you who supported and viewed our program this evening. We give a special thank you to John Haynes Sr. and the Kaiser Moose Lodge number 662 for hosting our program. And also a special thanks to Mineral County School Superintendent Ravenscroft, Kaiser High School Assistant Principal T.J. Connor, Kaiser High School teacher and Ed Kelley Program Coordinator Carrie Roachuk, Kaiser High School and Technical Center teacher and Ed Kelley Program live stream technician Scott Fury, the Ed Kelley Society, and President Logan Del Signor. Mr. Haynes.
Thank you again, Mrs. Spencer. And again, that will conclude our program. The ladies of the Moose have prepared a nice meal, so hopefully everyone can stay for that. If you would like, there are drinks available. Just go to the bar and they'll take care of that for you. There's no charge for that. And again, thank everyone for coming, being a part of the 75th Kelley Awards program. Congratulations again to these young men and their families. And before you leave, our favor this year is the 75th Jonah Edward Kelley Award. Has the original date of April 3rd and also has a likeness of Ed Kelley with the 78th Infantry Division emblem. There are several of those up here, so make sure you get one of those, or if you have someone you'd like to take them to, please help yourself. And again, we thank everyone for coming and being a part of the program. Thank you very much.